Bunama Numesk Masakazu Yagi, right? Okay. 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 So in Japan we are trying to build a MedTech innovation ecosystem, and still on the way. But then during this period we made a lot of failures. We learned a lot from failures, and we'd like to share the experience because you need not make the same failure. So I hope some of my information will be helpful of you. And also I'd like to say, 은근탄데 특수치자. Right? No? Oh, sorry. My pronunciation doesn't work. So, okay, I'd like to talk about Japan. Do you know Japan? Only the name of the country. So I'd like to give you some number to make or want you to know about Japan. We have a 120 million population and advanced aging society. So about 30% of the people are over 65 years old. So how about Romania? Actually, to my grandmother, they actually now died, but they lived over 100. So the 100 years old. So the one is 106 years old. The other one is 103 years old. My grandmother. So live long. But then we are in the advanced aging society. We have a lot of seniors. And also, you may have some impression. Japan has a technology. And actually, yes, we have technology, some technology. Also, I'd like to share the market size of medical device. That one is $30 billion, US dollars. This is the second largest market all over the world. First one is the US, very big one. But second one is Japan. Also, we have a national medical insurance system. So that if you want to get the reimbursement, you can talk with the Ministry of Health, that's all. But if you want to get a new reimbursement in US, they have a Medicare, Medicaid, but basically you have to talk with a private company. So there in Japan, just so you know, you can get a new reimbursement from the government, or the physician can use the device all over Japan. So that are kind of easier to do some business, medical device business in Japan. And also, I'd like to share some medical cost. We spend $400 billion US dollars per year. But while the tax revenue is $650 billion. So almost 2/3 are for the medical costs. So, we have a lot of seniors, and also, tax revenue could be going down. So that we need innovation, and we need a more effective, cost-effective, and better medical device in Japan. So that is the reason why we try to make innovation in Japan. So that today, I'd like to share two kinds of experience. So I think that some of them are from university, and some of them are more administrative people. Actually, I learned a lot at this event. And I saw the great lecture about science and technology, innovational science and technology by great professors. So I changed my contents completely. So today I'd like to share the innovation from business perspective. Actually, I joined the industrial session the day before yesterday. And some CEO of the startup here in Romania, he asked many questions about the ecosystem. So that question is from the viewpoint of business. So I'd like to change it in that way. So the first one is how to make MedTech innovation in Japan. This one is for those who want to make innovation, want to launch startup here. The other one is more administrative people. The second topic, how to build a MedTech innovation ecosystem. This one is for the more administrative people. So I'd like to go to the first topic. So now, Japan, I'd like to define of the health. Of course, sorry, all of you know about it. But then, in Japan, we think in this way. Health is not merely the absence of disease. So the state of physical, mental, and social well-being, this state is a health. So this is defined by WHO in 1947. So now the definition of health is expanding. Before we focus on the acute disease, chronic disease, but more, AI, big data, and we are moving preventive or predictive side. So I mentioned the medical market of medical device in Japan is $30 billion. But in this well-being market, some people said that this one is global market, $2 trillion US, very big market. So that you will have more opportunity for this. So, but I'd like to share how Japanese people think about the health. Now that we are expanding. So in order to make an innovation, what to do in this area? Very simple, maybe. So find a problem, then develop the solution. So what do you think? Is it easy? Yeah, you smile. Yeah, for you, it's easy. Maybe. Actually, Japanese medical device company could not do. Did you know that? They spent a lot of money and made a lot of failure. So I'd like to share this. Actually, governments worry about it, and they did the analysis of failures. They finally figured out two kind of typical failures. First one, sorry that these are in Japanese, but that one is some name of the report provided by Ministry of Economy. First one is this side, technology push. Japan has a lot of technology, and the people love the technology. So sometimes, they develop. Okay, we have a good technology, and when we apply this technology to the application, it may be useful in the clinical setting. But finally, they recognize after launching their product in the market, no market. So sometimes high functionality product is not always a good product. So I think I talked with many medical device company executive people, and the people said, almost all the people said they have this type of failures. The other one, next, we had better learn from the failure, because actually almost all of the medical device company in Japan did this failure. The other one is they go, the company go to the doctor in the university hospital and ask them, okay, we have this kind of technology. Is there any good application, or how can we help? And the doctor said, okay, we want this you can apply your technology, and everyone will buy. Finally, what happened? Only that doctor buy the device. In the worst case, even that doctor don't buy. It happens so often in Japan. So sometimes people said this report said doctors' requests are not always good needs for business sustainability. So they're very small market, and they cannot continue to provide the device to the medical field. So what's the problem? First one is they have good technology. Second one has a needs. What's the problem? So what we need is, of course, we need a good needs. Also, we need a technology. Of course, science is very important. Without science, we cannot develop the medical device. However, we also think about business implementation for innovation. Some guy said, no implementation, no innovation. But I'm not sure it works. But anyway, if you cannot build a sustainable delivery system of your product to the medical field, no one can access your product. And something like the same of your device doesn't exist in this world. That is the issue. So we have to build this kind of sustainable delivery system. So the business implementation, when I say the business implementation in Japan, a physician said, oh, you want to earn some money, more money? No, not this. Just we need to provide the good medical device to the medical field with sustainability. That is the point. In that sense, we need to think about value, impact. That is the point. So there are two typical failures. They didn't think about it, value. They think about only technology. They think about needs. Also, I have a big question. In Japan, hopefully we have a good product. So I saw many Japanese cars here, and we have a maybe good car and good products and something. But in MedTech area, why they cannot do that? Finally, I recognize. So engineer or business people in academia and also the company, they don't know about the clinical settings and values. On the other hand, medical experts don't know about the manufacturing and business implementation. But why they can develop the car? That is the reason why. Regarding the car, developer or engineer can be a user. So they can assess the value. But a medical device, totally different from the environment. So sometimes, this could be a good value for the medical fields. No, quite different. So that is the reason why the Japanese medical device company made such kind of failure so often. So point is we need to fill this gap, and we need to achieve the multidisciplinary collaboration. And also, I think that you may have experience to talk with people having different background. At that time, sometimes technical terms are different, and sometimes not. You had some difficulty to communicate with each other. So in that case, in that sense, we need to achieve the effective communication, because in this area, speed is one of the important factors. Everyone try to solve the problem, so you need to focus on the speed. Also, let's think about the development process of medical device. Here, the medical device company find a needs, then they use their technology and product, develop the prototype, and POC validation are performed. Then they need to validate, and they need to demonstrate efficacy and safety for regulatory approval. Then get a new reimbursement code and launch their product in the market and make a business in this way. So, but there is some risks. So in latter phase, do you know I think you may know latter phase, regulatory or reimbursement. These are very complicated. It costs and take time. So if you develop it this way, most of medical device company did like this. Okay, once they develop some prototype, then they start to think about regulatory path and recognize, oh, we need such kind of money, such kind of time. It doesn't work. That is an issue. So, some tips. So in our strategy, we define the destination and backcast. We define at first we define the destination and go back. I mean, so as I mentioned, the latter half is very complicated. But that is very complicated, but easy to predict the pathway. If you, for example, if you develop a consumer device, how can you develop? How can you sell? It's almost free. So too big, too large, so too free and too cannot decide. But this way, okay, so for example, business is from the pocket or from the insurance, reimbursement, regarding reimbursement, existing reimbursement or new reimbursement code. And the regulatory process, you use the existing category or create a new category. That kind of, you can roughly estimate it and assess the project risk in advance. That is a point. Most of the startups in Japan just, oh, good news, and I have technology, apply. Then they don't think about the regulatory. Then they gave us some pitch event. People ask, oh, how do you think the regulatory and or something like that? You have better roughly estimate this way. Then I think that in this area, of course, technology and science, this is mandatory. But after that, we have to take in the right spot, sweet spot, or right direction, right time by right team. So that when you want to launch a project, you have better think these kind of things. How do you do that? How can we do that? Yeah, that is conceptual expression. So I don't know that this is the best way, but so that there is a innovation process called the Stanford Biodesign. Do you know? This one is actually launched in 2001, launched by Dr. Poryuk. Very simple process. And also, I'm working in university. I need to educate the people. So I need a process. So there finally I decided to learn this process and bring this back to Japan. So very simple. In the first phase, identify needs. Second phase, invent solution. Third phase, business implementation, do the business implementation. And of course, there are many tips. Actually, we spent 10 months to teach this process. But today, only 1 hour, so I'd like to make it shorten, and I'd like to share some tips. But actually, they demonstrate a brilliant output. So they have about more than 100 startups, and 76 million patients were helped, developed. 27 million patients were helped by the device developed in their program. And also 1.2 billion US dollars are fundraised. But anyway, so that it works very well. But then actually this one is developed in US. And the national insurance system and the reimbursement system and the business model is quite different from Japan. So we try to adjust this process to Japan. So I'd like to share some tips of this this process. So actually, in the beginning, we go to the hospital. I think the Biodesign provided some opportunity to that. We try to find a needs with empathy. So this one is a kind of poem-like poem, but then, yeah, I like this expression. See what they see, hear what they hear, feel what they feel. So that we put ourselves in the field and see the facts, not an interview, not a persona. We focus on the fact. Oh, sorry. And also, we try to find a pain. People sometimes find something like pain or something like problem, but not pain. So we need to try. We try to understand the patient situation, physician situation more deeply, and try to figure out what's the pain, what's the problem. Ask ourselves again and again. Then we try to express or try to define the direction. The name of the framework is need statement. So the founder of the sound Biodesign, Dr. Polio, said, well-characterized needs is the DNA of great invention. This is actually totally agree based on my experience. Without, unclear needs, concept doesn't work. They cannot create a wonderful concept, wonderful solution. So you can focus on what's the problem, what's the real needs. Then we try to figure out the 3 elements of the project. What's the problem we address? And what kind of people we focus on? It should be more specific. So diabetic patient, no, doesn't work. Type 1, type 2, senior, or children, quite different. So you have to be more specific. And also, you have to define the outcome. By solving the problem, what kind of outcome you can achieve? This one is value. And, I think some people said, what is the impact, clinical impact? That is what the medical people want. Clinical impact, cost impact, something like that. Not something like pain, just we need to focus on what kind of clinical value we can create, clinical impact or economical impact. So, and we try to, and actually, as I mentioned, we have a 10 months intensive course. We spend about 6 months. We spent 6 months to find a needs, more than half, with these kind of using these kind of frameworks. So anyway, and this one is not a one way. So by making a needs statement with the 3 elements, after that you have to validation. You have to do validation. So just so you know, needs statement is just one hypothesis. Then you have to investigate. And infinitely you have to observe again, interview the doctor, and you have to figure out what's the problem, what's the pain, and try to optimize this direction. You have this one is, vector having 3 elements. What's the problem, what's the target population, what's the clinical value. So this photo illustrates where this process. First needs statement is just a stone. By investigation and observation, you have to figure out and carve and try to figure out what's the pain. Then finally, you need to have your insight. Insight is a uniqueness or the unique information that you only have. Other people don't know. So in this process, we investigate the many things. First one, this is one of the most important things, is the science mechanism, disease state fundamentals. So you studied, we study the anatomy or physiology, pathology of the targeted disease. And we check the mechanism is clear or not. If mechanism is not clear, you will have big risks. In the regulatory phase, it's not easy to demonstrate the efficacy. Also, if you have a problem, someone want to solve, someone try to solve. So you have to check the existing solutions for your problem. If all the people satisfy the existing solutions, you need not do that. But there should be some points, some factors, something they don't satisfy. You can figure out. And by solving that, you can create a new value and you can differentiate your product, your technology from the existing solution. That is necessary information when you talk with the regulatory people. They will surely ask you, what is the issue of the existing solution? And how can you solve it? Clinical positioning of your device, your technology, you have to think about. And also, medical device. Who buy? Hospital? Who use? Physician, practitioner, or nursing staff? And who will receive a benefit? The practitioner or patients? So there should be many kinds of stakeholders about your problems. So you have to figure out all the stakeholders, who is the decision maker, who want to solve your problem really. Then figure out what kind of people you access and do the interview and get the feedbacks for your technology, for your product, for you to improve your technology. Also market. So which segment, how many people, and how much they pay now. This kind of thing. We investigate these kind of things before we develop Then we try to find the insight and try to create a new value. But this is not the end. Next, so that now we define the direction. Yeah, I think that people usually have a direction. Okay, we want to shorten some procedure time to reduce the complication due to the procedure, something like that. But sometimes they don't think how many percentage of time want to be shortened. So we need to, of course, we can define the direction. After that, we have to define the how big your value is quantitatively. So, for example, okay, you want to shorten the procedure time. How many percentage? Or okay, if 1 second shorter, is it variable? 1 minute, 1 hour, 50%, 30%? This kind of quantitative value should have to be determined. So for medical device, we define the efficacy, safety, and cost and usability with it. And I talked with a medical device company, and I asked about their failure. Most cases, they did not define this. So the high accuracy, high safety, high cost, low usability. Or so they in most cases they focus on too much. They focus on efficacy too much. They don't mind the money. They did not mind the cost. Then no practitioner use it. We have many kinds of cases. And also, we collaborate with, of course, we collaborate with a big company, of course, a world famous company. And I gave a lecture about it, and they prepared this kind of this kind of information. Sometimes they define this kind of value by technology spec. So that one is, okay, let me share that information. So, okay, they want to shorten the processing time, and they have a good technology for that. And the efficacy, okay, the number is 0.025 seconds. With the 0.025 seconds, we can do this. And I asked them, how did you ask the user? No, just they define. They define by the technological spec. What happened? Yeah, I also asked them, how much this costs? How big size of this device? This one is maybe $200,000, and size is something like this. But that device in our ICU doesn't work. So that they focus on efficacy too much. But I think that in ICU, they need not that speed. They want more, cheaper and more compact size. So that kind of thing happens so often. And also, in order to develop a medical device, I'd like to ask you, your technology or your product is must-have product for the physician practitioner or nice-to-have product? If your technology is nice-to-have product, it's not easy. You may have some risks. So you have to try to develop the must-have device. And also, you have better figure out the must-have function. Figure out the must-have function. What kind of function you need? Yeah, I'm an engineer, so I know the engineer want to put many function on the product because everyone can use it. But in this case, you have to figure out minimum number of master function. You try to remove the nice to have function. Figure out what's a must-have function. Sometimes, high functionality device, it costs too much. And sometimes that complexity does not, a practitioner don't like the complexity in the usability. And I had some experience of, not experience, I saw the practitioner use some device. That device has many functions, but that practitioner only use one function. Others, they don't use. That kind of things. If you put a lot of function to your device, in the regulatory phase, you have to validate all the efficacy. And also you have to build a quality management system. That one is tough and cost too much and high risks. So you have to figure out what is the MVP, minimum viable product. That one is also important. So the point is you have to figure out the value and how big the value. But value is not the value you estimate, but the value, clinical value, or value for the practitioner, value for patients. Real one. So, but sorry, this kind of story is not common here. Maybe even in Japan, when I studied Biodesign, all of the people, for all the people, not easy for them to understand. But then, we continue the education, and now they're spreading. And also, concept generation. But this one is, all of you are expert in this. How to solve the problem. But I'd like to share some tips. We focus on the problem, and we figure out the cause of the problem. And we focus on how might we remove the cause efficiently for each. Not not try and brainstorm like we want to solve. How might we solve this problem? No, so we figure out the cause and focus on the cause. And also think about the using of the user, how the practitioner, physician use this device. Then we imagine, and we need to figure out what kind of spec and how can we design for them. This kind of brainstorm we do. Basically, we generate about more than 100 concepts and select. Then, in that case, at that time, we select the concept according to that criteria and need statement. The concept that does not satisfy all the must-have function will be killed, are killed. But sometimes, people fall in love with some concept and try to change the needs. I made a mistake. So the arrow is a different way. So try to fit the needs to your solution. That is a pitfall. Also, it happens so often in Japanese medical device company. Basically, the needs market-driven is correct. If you change your needs, according to your product, maybe it's high risk. Well, and I'd like to skip the prototype. But prototype is, just I want to give. We think fairly often. If we take a time, cost will increase exponentially. So we try to check as soon as possible. And you have many questions about your concept. Okay, does it work in this element? Then you make a prototype and check, and you can have another good, more deeper question about your concept, and you can evolving your concept. You can do that. So prototyping is not the final validation of final prototype. This one is, utilize how you design your product. So prototype is okay. And finally, sorry, there are still in Japanese, but then we pick up the 3 or 4 promising concepts and due diligence of these perspectives: technical feasibility, regulatory, reimbursement, business model, and IP. So we check, investigate, and assess the risk level for promising 3 or 4 concepts. And finally decide, okay, this one will go. Something like that. So not to, find a needs, okay, this is a great idea, and go, not go. So we utilize this kind of process steps. And the business implementation, it's tough part, medical device are different from device to device. Okay, this one ICT, this one disposable, this one is implantable, this one is device for treatment. Quite different. Business model, regulatory risk, and reimbursement, quite different. So I think that we need as people, experts. So, this one is a net. I'd like to give you. You should have. It's better to have no full network. You cannot know everything. So that you had better know people who has know-how. Sorry, no. You had better know people. That one is in Silicon Valley they are doing. Okay. About this, we can ask him. This kind of network. And so that this is the final slide for this topic. Usually, sometimes I'm doing some judge or pitch event, and also people come to me and come and ask me to give a feedback about their project. And usually I give us three whys, the question. First one is, what is this problem? So, there is a problem there. Why? Nobody knows the problem, or someone knows the problem, but no technology to solve the problem. Or know the problem and have a technology, but no business good model. This kind of thing. What is the reason why still this is a problem? Sometimes there is a reason why they remains. They keep the problem. So that you have to figure out. And also the next one is why you can win the game. As a company or as a big company, put a lot of money and resources. So can you win? Can you beat them? So do you have any insights? This kind of thing. I have another. This is the second question. Third one is more complicated. Why now you have to do? So 2 years ago? Why not 2 years ago? Or why not 2 years later? Sometimes you can step back and see the environment, and sometimes you recognize, okay, governments want to do this, and in the clinical field they need, or there is a big gap here. If you can find this kind of situation, your product will be, you can make a, big innovation. I saw several cases. Of course, device product is good, yeah. But also the environmental setting is also sometimes a very important factor. Okay, and yeah, one question that, yeah, in Silicon Valley, they said, is it sexy? You always say, yeah. Yeah, it's not a three complicated question, you can say. Yeah, actually, yeah, the way of thinking is, so maybe, wow, so now we have 10 minutes. How many minutes I have? 10? Oh, okay. But anyway, okay. So I can skip, and this one is okay. And also the process is a process, so the mindset is also important. These three are legendary people in this area in Silicon Valley. I asked them, what is the important factor? All the people said, patient first. So go to the hospital, see the patient, and find out the real pain. All the people said. So I share some method and also mindset, and and these are, of course, we have a lot of another tips, but just focus on these today. And this is the final slide for the first topic. So this one is this sentence is given by Professor Albert Einstein. If 1 hour is given to him to solve some problem, he spend 55 minutes for thinking about the solution. Thinking about the problem, and spend 5 minutes thinking about the solution. Before start to think about solution, we need to figure out what's the problem. If we develop a sophisticated solution, it's okay. But if problem doesn't exist, no meanings. So we need to figure out what's the problem. That is, in this MedTech innovation. What's the problem? What's the pain? What kind of value we can create? That is an important thing. Okay. So this one is, I tried. And the second topic, this one is my, okay. So I'd like to go to the building innovation ecosystem. So when I started our program in 2015, at that time, nothing, few people. We did not have an innovation player, innovation educator, and experienced mentors. Also, the mindset is most of the people loves high tech and low tolerance for failure. So how about here? Do you like a failure? I think the Japanese don't like a failure. But if you want to do the innovation, okay, so the few people are nothing, and also the few mature incubation function and the financing environment is not so good. Then our former prime minister visited Silicon Valley, and they mentioned our program there, and try to strengthen the relationship between the Silicon Valley and Japan. And we launched our program. Our mission is, actually, build a MedTech innovation ecosystem in Japan. But we are working in university, and so that we are on education. We focus on education. Of course, we can spend money to make a good facility and funding system. It's okay, but without innovation players, doesn't work. And also, we need a lot of time to educate the people. So at that time, egg or chicken problem we had. no innovator, no funding environment. So we decided to educate the people to make a startup. And also we try to educate the educator and faculty member and try to build a network with a common language. So at that time, 3 universities raised a hand to launch this program. University of Tokyo, Tohoku University, and Osaka University. These 3 are big national universities and competitive each other. Actually, I'm a lazy man, and if only Osaka University run this program, we cannot do so fast. So that we you collaborate with each other in a competitive situation and compete each other and go fast. Also, anyway, we try to take action as soon as possible. So there start small, fail early, and learn fast. This is our basic strategy. So of course, at that time, we did not have anything. So that anyway, action to figure out what's the problem. Then, okay, we recognize the problem and try to solve. That kind of process, I repeated. And we developed the Japanese version of Biodesign program, and also focusing on project continuity. I talked with some educational director. Of course, there's Sanhol Biodesign and also the Northwestern University or many kind of people. They ran the innovation educational program, and they have an issue about the project continuity. They provide an innovation program to the highly motivated students, but after the program, most of the people stop. But I can imagine. Okay, during the program, always said, good. After the program, suddenly, they face the reality. So in Japan, we try to focus on after the program. Also, this kind of thing, innovation, new. If you want to new thing in this community, we need some strategy. So I use movement-based, not mandatory-based, highly motivated, and to be in short, just demonstrating a series of tangible success. Okay, if we demonstrate some success, then the other surrounding people get interested in it. But going down soon, then the next success, by repeating, try to continue to keep their motivation or interest. Then we build some structure and educate the faculty people, and I really appreciate these kind of people. These are, educating the faculty member is one of the key issues. That one is, if you educate the faculty people, each faculty people can teach many students. So by doing that, we try to scale. Also, we provide the several program, 10 months, 3 months, and 1 day. And also, we provide the Japanese version of textbook because Japanese are not good at speaking and reading the English like me. And our 10 months program, this is our flagship program, fellowship program. I'd like to say that in the beginning, they have no needs, no technology, no business model, nothing. 10 months later, basically they filed the patent, and I think that some team has some consultation with Japan FDA and get some fund. Basically, not big, but more than 10,000 US dollars. Then they can continue their project after the program. That one is, let me share some output. Okay. So this guy started and finally acquired. Yes, but can you see? First question from him at the start of the program. What is CEO? I think that everybody knows what is CEO, but he did not know what is CEO and what is VC. But in final, after the program, she launched a startup and finally his startup acquired. So this kind of thing is a kind of education effect. So, and also, yeah, okay, but then this one is just skip. And also another case. Yeah, this case, they launched a startup during the program. And also, this one is a recent case. Yeah, actually, they get 100,000 US dollars after the program and launched the startup. And also, surrounding people. At first, the medical device company come, then the chemical and material company come, and finally, non-medical device company come. You know, the Sony, Toyota, and many kinds of big big company come to us to collaborate. Also, SME, small, middle-scale enterprises, and the university and local governments come. And also, yeah, governments, and this one is Japan Medical Association. So the biggest group of physicians. And do you know Medicines Sans Frontier? Doctors Without Border, humanitarian activity. So we collaborate with them. This one is a kind of collaboration with Toyota. Now this program is spreading in Japan. So we have a 47 prefecture, and we collaborate with the university and local governments and company. And now the educated people is more than 2,000. That one is, educating people and faculty member and building a network all over Japan, and also build up branding. And also by doing this, we can get some fund from, they pay money to us. That one could be helpful for us to run our program. And also, we have some output. I think that from over 50% of our project, we have startups. Maybe two or three startups will launch soon. So maybe 60% or 70% of projects, we have startups. Now the 11 startups out of 21 projects. And also global collaboration with Asia Pacific people and Silicon Valley, and also humanitarian activity. And also Ministry of Health asked me to expand this activity to the assistive technology for the people with disability. And also we launched some program, medical device development in emerging countries, so expanding. Also educates the young people. That this one is undergraduate and junior and senior high school. They're really doing very well, this program. Finally, I think the 3 months or 4 months program, at the end of the day, they gave a pitch with a kind of implementation result. They go to some local governments and ask them to collaborate and did some experiments, and they demonstrate. Even the junior high school and a high school guy can do this. So now we try to educate and spread. Okay, this one is okay. And this one is, I'd like to show you the kind of some ecosystem. These are from some are physician, some are medical device company, some are engineer, and some people are very strong competitor and usually don't speak. But now that they have in the same smile, that was the point. And they can collaborate with each other. And, now actually after the program, a lot of collaboration generated from this community. Okay, where we go in my understanding, the first POC of our program are verified. Now the scaling phase, and now we focus on after the program. Now there are a lot of incubation program, global incubation program in Silicon Valley or Australia, contact with me and ask me to collaborate, and so that we try to figure out, we try to achieve the seamless connection with, hand over our project to them seamlessly. I'm trying to figure out the method. And also, we have now a lot of people, and so that we focus on the quality management of our education. And also global collaboration, yes, we want to do. But these are, of course, education, but these are, basic concept is for the patients, to save the patients all over the world. That is, my motivation. And if you are interested in, please, collaborate with each other.